Welcome to Creole and Cajun Living with Bomb Cherry. In this video, I will be showing you how to make my Southern style hamburger steak. The first thing we're going to do, baby, is slice up some of those onions. And if you need help slicing up your onions the way I do it, look in the description box below for the link. There's nothing wrong with a little help, baby. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I have 2 pounds of ground beef, and I have my seasoning mixture, which includes salt, pepper, and garlic powder. So I decided to change bowls because this one may be a little too small. And what I do is I start to add my seasoning mixture to my ground beef. I do what I call the switch it up, flip it up, turn it down, and season it, baby. That's what I do. So that's to ensure that all the meat receives some of the seasoning. So just watch what I do right here. You know what I'm saying? Just watch how I do it, baby. Nothing wrong with flipping it up, giving it a little spank. That's what I'm talking about. So my next step is to add in the breadcrumbs. Seasoned breadcrumbs, okay? Don't get it wrong. Do not put plain breadcrumbs in this meal. Even if you have to season them yourself, make sure to add some flavor to your burgers, baby. So as you can see, I started doing the spank-a-lank on the burgers once again. And now I'm going to add in my Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, however you pronounce it, baby. Add it to the meat. Add it to the meat. And then we're going to add that egg. Yes, this is the binding agent that will help keep everything cohesive, keep everything together. And as you can see, I'm spanking that meat again. And again, I have another cheat. This item is called the patty maker. And if you would like to purchase one, look in the description box below. It will help you to make burgers that are all the same size and the same thickness. And it's very easy to use. I ended up creating 8 patties that were the same size, the same thickness. I don't play when it comes to my meat, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's time to get over to the stove. And I want you to see that I am cooking with cast iron. And that makes a huge difference in this recipe as far as timing. So I add in my oil to an already heated pan. So for you non-cookers, I want you to understand that the secret to cooking is hot. That's why they call me a hot girl, baby, because I keep my stove hot, I keep the pans hot, and make sure that there will be no sticking going on in my kitchen. You heard me? So make sure that your pan is hot. Now, based on where you're from, depends on what you may call this meal. I just recently found out that in other areas of the country, these are called Salisbury steaks. Irregardless to where you are, you will enjoy this meal. So let's get back to cooking. As you see, I've drained the oil that was created from the burgers, and I've added my onions. Don't get confused, baby. Just like I flip up meat, I flip fruits and vegetables as well. If you watch me through the years cooking in my kitchen, you see me twerking something, baby. I be twerking that meat while I'm twerking my, you know what I'm saying. But let's get back to the cooking. I just wanted the onions to soften up a little bit, and so I add in a half a stick of butter. Now, as I'm realizing that I'm cooking in cast iron, I decide that I need to remove my onions. And so that's what I do. Yeah, so now I'm on that butter love. As you can see, I'm making sure that it's spread all over the pan. Okay, so here I'm about to add in my flour. And I want you to know that I'm going to spend a little more time in this area because it confuses people often. Okay, so most of the time when people do this, you see the lumpiness and clumpiness and they get worried. Don't get worried. Just continue to move that flour around. Move it around, let it sit maybe for a couple of seconds, and then move it around to another spot. And just continue to move it around. And it can take upwards 20 minutes depending on what type of pan you're using. Cast iron is a little quicker. Okay, so right here, This color is a blonde roux. That means it's light in color, but it has started to change. This is a peanut butter color roux. This is perfect for what I'm creating, but you can go darker if you like. Just be patient and make sure you stay near that pot. Okay, so here I'm adding my onions back to the pot. And I'm just giving it a mix. Nothing too fancy. I kind of like this color, so I'm going to stick with this. And now I'm going to be adding in my liquid, which right now I'm using broth. I am using beef broth just to add some flavor. Nothing too fancy. You just want to take your time and add it in because it will start to thicken up. You want to mix it. As you can see, it's thickening up. It looks like it's a big mess, don't it? But do not worry. Just continue to treat it the way you was treating the roux, because basically that's what this is. Okay, I didn't add too much liquid. I just added in some liquid, and I'm making it just a tad bit darker. And I'm also creating what we call complexities of flavors, right? That's why I added the onion back. And now I'm adding in a cup of water. It looks like a mess, but pay attention as I smooth it out. Please don't get concerned when you see things that do not look like the way it should, because people aren't making videos that show you the steps. Okay? If most of you had not seen this be lumpy, then you would have assumed that you did something wrong and you would have probably thrown it out. This is one of the main reasons I spent more time on the roux with you all. I wanted you to watch me from start to beginning. And I did take some of the clips out of the middle, but they weren't anything of importance, okay? So now, as you can see, this is absolutely starting to become creamier, less lumpy as I go along. Just be patient. Okay, so now I'm going to add in my spices. Just want to add some flavor to the gravy itself. So I'm blending this in, and then what I'm going to do is put a top on it and allow it to simmer for about 10 minutes. Now, what I want you to understand is that I'm cooking with cast iron. So if you aren't cooking with cast iron, you might want to add another 5 to 10 minutes to that time frame. Okay? Cast iron cooks differently than any other pots out there. Okay, so now if you take a look, you can see a deepened brownish color, and you can also see the thickening. Everything has come together perfectly. So what I'm now going to do is add in my beef patties. Yes, it's time to get it crack-a-lackin', baby. Okay, so I add in a patty just to pretty much gauge how much liquid needs to be in my pan. Okay, so I add in more liquid to make sure that the patties will be mostly covered in my gravy. I place all the patties in. I make sure that I put some onion on each patty. Place it on a low simmer, and then I'm going to cover this for about 15 minutes. Now remember, I'm cooking with cast iron, and if you're not, then you probably need to put this on a low simmer for 30 minutes. 15 minutes later, remember I'm cooking with cast iron. Here we go. Everything about this meal has changed. The color, the texture. Look, everything looks glossy and just juicy. This is how your meal should turn out. This is a perfect meal for any family in the world, baby. Nothing wrong with having a little pride of what you do in the kitchen, baby. Taking care of your family. I want you all to stay healthy. One love.